Now this is content.
All right, well, we are getting started. Who has won the coin flip? Let us see. Ah, it is the pancake deck that has won the coin flip. This will, the starting hand, unfortunately, is just okay. There is going to be a way to get a shaman to get out of it, but unfortunately, not a supporter yet. But on the other hand, the other side has started Jolteon, which is actually one of the better starters, I will say. Jolteon has free retreat, and so you can pivot into anything. It is certainly better than starting any of the two prize EX Pokemon. So let us take a look at what the decision here is. Ultra Ball probably getting rid of that Snorlax as one of the cards. The other card, not sure what to get rid of. Snorlax can be super rotted back later. Escape Rope is a choice, which is very reasonable. Get that Shaman out of the discard, or out of the deck, and we'll draw 3 cards to see if we can hit an energy. Is not not the greatest, but still, still it's sort of workable. Yep. No turn 1 attack here in the retro format.
And Cash, goodbye Pancake. We do actually play 2 Super Rod on this deck, so that's kind of I think it's almost better. Obviously, I'd prefer to have the Snorlax in deck, but having it in the discard pile means it's kind of easier to just Super Rod it back in and then Ninja Boy immediately. That way you don't have to worry about redrawing the Snorlax, because you can only Ninja Boy it from the deck to the field. What's up, Matt? Yeah, Pancake time. And yeah, in the finals, this is totally unprecedented. We have a Xerneas mirror match, of course. Neither of these decks are the same, but they do both feature Xerneas doing 2 completely different things. This pulverizing Pancake deck featuring the Snorlax GX, focusing on kind of having that come in as your big sweeper at the end of the game, whereas the Rainbow Road deck wants to get many different types of Pokemon onto the bench and use the Xerneas' Rainbow Force to deal massive damage. So a Xerneas Mirror, but not quite, No Target Whistle, yes. No Thornton in this format, yet a Ninja Boy from the deck. Exactly, yeah. I play Pancake, you do not. We are not the same. So true.
Yeah, Peter, there was no Target Whistle, but there was Captivating Pokepuff, which I guess is a little bit weaker because it goes from hand than the discard, going from the discard pile. Had some niche uses in some Seismitoad decks, but not really seen. I guess Seismitoad wasn't even in this format, so it wasn't seen in this format at all.
And also, I just realized that Skyfield is completely bodying my setup right now. We have a Hoopa EX is under my face cam, for those of you who can't see that. I'm not going to bother trying to... it's just so scuffed at this point that you guys can just deal with it. But yes, there's a Hoopa right... I guess it's right about here. Right? Is it Hoopa? Should I just put it on over my face cam? Let's just go full on. I'm gonna do this, right? Hoopa EX. We're gonna just embrace the chaos at this point, right? Give me a second. I gotta download a picture.
So we got the Trainer's Mail into the Ultra Ball. Looking through the deck now, doing the first deck search. Nothing too important I see prized here. Getting a Xerneas out, really smart. Buffing up the HP of that active Xerneas as well by evolving into the break. And here we see a Professor Sycamore into pretty reasonably good cards. The opponent does not have a Xerneas down, the Rainbow Road Xerneas down. So playing the Silent Lab here, I think, will be good because it limits them to 1 Xerneas.
I tried!
In theory, I think potentially another option that was available was to Ultra Ball, discarding, say, the Trainer's Mail and Xerneas break before putting down the Silent Lab to Shaman to draw 4 more cards, just to dig a little deeper. But this I think is also fine as well. Getting 2 energy in play from Geomancy sets up for future turns quite well. And now we see we have a pretty playable hand here. We will see if we hit the max elixir DT. No max elixir. So Rainbow Force is not going to see play this turn. And so the Xerneas break deck gets another turn to set up or attack.
Yeah, and this is huge. Getting to use another Geomancy plus another attachment for turn means that you get to just flood so much energy into play, and then of course you do have an experience share already down, and you have the luxury of being able to use something like this Lysander. And actually, Zach's going to go for the life stream to just take out the threat. How do you feel about that? Is that too aggressive?
No, I really like that play. You want to, especially in the position where the Rainbow Force player only has one Xerneas in play without Skyfield, Silent Labs in play, and clearly they didn't have an Elixir in hand last turn, or else they would have slammed it down. So getting rid of their one attacker will force them to have to find more stuff in order to attack. Off this Sycamore, they will need a Xerneas, a DTE, which now we're down 2 of because one got discarded and one's on the Jolteon, an Elixir. So it's just more components that are necessary to get this knockout. And we are also sort of already close to the knockout range for without needing to use any more Geomancy. 2 energies, one, if this Xerneas does get knocked out, 1 energy will go on the Electrike. And with another attachment from hand next turn, that's enough to knock out another Rainbow Road, Xerneas. So we see the escape rope in play. Oh man, this is this is so unfortunate. This is Flash Ray is desperation at this point. Does 70 damage and stops all attacks and effects damage and effects of attacks from basic Pokemon. But Xerneas Break is not a basic Pokemon. It may be a Xerneas, but it has been evolved. So if that was a Glaceon, it would be very good. But as a Jolteon, this 80 damage with the Fighting Fairy Belt is not going to do much. So how many energy do we have in play now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is enough for 140 damage for this knockout on Mew. Another life stream, another knockout. Really like that play. That's a very huge lead for this Xerneas deck.
Yeah, and I almost wonder if there was a reason to maybe attach this Float Zone and retreat into the fresh Xerneas, because it prevents the response with a Flash Ray to take this KO on the active. At least you're able to keep the extra energy in play and attach more to preserve your threat that way. Because now at least the Rainbow Road deck is able to get a KO with this Jolteon. Oh, it's from the prizes, was it? Okay. Well, that explains that then. And I'm like, what? I feel like we should have gone into that. Yeah, Stellar, I do not have the PTCG bot thing or whatever. And yes, it is the finals if you look over under Sam's base camp. Directions are weird, you know what I mean. Yes, it is the finals. This is game 1 of the finals, and looking pretty, I'm going to say it's pretty much in Xerneas' favor. Because it could be either Xerneas, but no, I definitely think this is favored for the Pancakes deck from this position. Can't find it. Where's Sam?
It is kind of dangerous here because there's only one attacker left, and what a great top deck here to get the research. That Super Rod is going to put back Xerneas Break and an energy, I assume. I don't think you need the Snorlax escape.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh wow.
I don't think you do either. Yeah.
That is, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm here for it. Snorlax is, one of my favorite cards. So, okay, we do see a Xerneas. That's fantastic. Get a Xerneas with a benched, with an energy on it. Unfortunately, no EXP share yet. This life stream is not enough to knock out even without the Fighting Fairy Belt. It's 60 HP away though. So next turn, it is possible to get that knockout.
Hoopa's back, baby. Hoopa's back. How did Pancakes make it to the finals? Here. Yeah. Well, I think so. We said I was up against the Mega Mewtwo in top 4, which Sam actually said was a struggle. Not the best matchup, but Zach did 2-0 them, so maybe it was something like Mega Mewtwo didn't draw too well. This is game 1, so neither player has taken one. As soon as there are games taken, I usually put I note who won game 1 or 2 or whatever. So, y'all use your eyes. Look at the screen. Just there to take energy. Yeah, so the way that this deck works, Stellar, the Electrike has the Omega barrier, so it cannot be targeted by trainer cards. You can't be Lysandered up. It cannot be enhanced hammered. Cards like that cannot be, Crushing Hammer, etc. So you put the experience share on it. It kind of just sits there to take all of the energy from those experience shares, and then eventually you can Ninja Boy out of that Electrike into the Snorlax GX and use the Pulverizing Pancake GX attack to do 210 damage, and just, take your last... Oh, dang it, Hoopa's in the active now. Take your last, your last big KO with that. So might not be too relevant in this matchup, since you can just kind of trade back and forth with one prizers. But that's the way that the deck worked. And since you didn't know how the deck works, Stellar, I'm assuming you don't know that Sam was actually the... I guess we know there was a group of them, as you mentioned earlier, but Sam was the one who used the first ever Pulverizing Pancake, the first ever GX attack on stream. If you checked out the video I posted today, you can see a little bit of that, which was super cool. But yeah, it was great to have him here. Yeah, heard about Sam playing Pancake.
From the last turn, I would have liked to see the Xerneas break player bench that Xerneas and attach the Floatstone somewhere to thin out their hand. 4 cards is automatic end, but the 2 prizes may not be an automatic end. So when you got the VS Seeker off the prizes, or you should have known at least that a VS Seeker was prized. This is now a very interesting spot. Who do you send up? The Electrike is a great choice with 1 retreat. Is a great choice with 1 retreat. All we need here is an energy card. No, that is the Xerneas.
Oof.
I think you have 4 prizes left. This is tricky. I think you have to retreat into... Oh man, Geomancy doesn't even do it.
Well, you can put on the Lugia, actually, which is great, because now the Lugia would have enough to take out the Xerneas. And then this also thins out 2 cards you probably don't want to draw from this point. Thins out those 2 energies. And yes, the reason for the Electrike, obviously the retreat cost being, 1 over 3 is an advantage. But the real reason is that the gem promo Regirock is impossible to get on TCGO. So that's kind of the main reason over the Regirock, was just that this is, a common in Roaring Skies versus the gem promo that's very difficult to find. So, but yes, the 1 retreat cost definitely makes a difference too.
I would have liked to seen those 2 Geomancy energy go on Shaman and Lugia, I think. So Shaman can be a pivot. Electrike is already going to absorb the energy off the Xerneas break. Interesting. Okay. I think this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh.
Wow, and now Rainbow Road is just a Lysander away from game on the Shaman. Just like that, the script kind of flipped. Ninja Boy top deck, that would have been fantastic, yep. But unfortunately, the Lugia top deck not going to cut it. IRL would have to be cheaper. I mean, they're both pretty cheap IRL. I don't think the Regirock is particularly expensive, but yeah, well, Decidueye wasn't out quite yet at this point. So, but there is the VS Seeker. Gonna grab the Lysander and pick up the final 2 prizes off that Shaman. And wow, and just putting in so much work to bring that one back for Jared.
I do think, though, that it was unfortunate that, they missed energy drop it at some point, and also they didn't see another EXP share for the rest of the game. So there was a lot of, they were 1 energy away, so had they just seen an EXP share at any point through those ends or Sycamore, it could have been fine.
This is a pretty good start, though. We have double Xerneas, experience share, Ultra Ball can go get a Shaman. Obviously, you'd prefer not to put that Shaman in play if you can avoid it, but you at least have the option. Wait, pass. Whew. Scared me there, Zach. Yes, that's my account. This is my brother. Zach is playing on my account. Yes. So we actually shared it for years. So And I do occasionally loan out my account so people can play in these events as well. But yes, this is my brother. Not having a fairy energy to attach is a little bit awkward. I mean, do you attach this DCE somewhere, though?
Is there a turn 1 attack in this format? Yes, right? Or no?
No, there was no turn 1 attack here.
Then I attach... I get the Shaman, and I... you want to dig, but you also don't want to attach this. Oh, that's tough. I don't think you attach. I think you put the Shaman down. 4 cards is pretty deep. You're
Yeah,
very
and you can also follow up with this Silent Lab too, so you can go like, set up for 4, and then, hopefully try to slow your opponent down with the Silent Lab. And you have the N here to reset the pass advantage, which is great. So Silent Lab N, give your opponent a totally random hand, and we get that fairy energy to attach off the setup. So that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, that was as much as you could ask for there. And then a fairy energy is pretty good. You bench the Xerneas here, and...
Interesting. Choosing not to.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Is there a reason to keep bench size small in this matchup? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so. And the additional Xerneas would be great to have something to Geomancy onto. You definitely want to spread your energies out a little bit to keep them in play as much as you can. So I'm surprised to see that not coming down. I'm not really sure.
Last game too, there was that one opportunity where the Xerneas break could have benched the Xerneas and attached a floatstone somewhere to thin 2 further cards from the N, and then the N to 1 became an N, and then the N again drew the Xerneas. So I mean, obviously wasn't going to draw out of it. But yeah, I think benching the Xerneas there is going to be correct more of the time than not here as well. It doesn't really hurt for you to get Xerneas in play.
Yeah, I'm again surprised to not see that come down, and I also just wanted to quickly mention for the YouTube folks that I apologize if I keep ducking off to blow my nose. I'm definitely getting a little bit sick here, so appreciate the patience everyone in chat too, as I'm like ducking away to blow my nose. Well, who's going after my brother though? I mean, I guess we are for the questionable plays there. I'll text him afterward and be like, hey, what gives? But
it's only because we can see his hand.
True.
So I mean, I'm not sure what plays the opponent is making because I'm not exactly sure what cards in his hand.
And this is going to be an interesting. We see this card in Zach's hand, that Ace Trainer card. So this is going to be something super impactful if Zach is able to combine that with a Silent Lab. You can put your opponent down to just 3 cards, take away their access to abilities with that Silent Lab. And I think Zach chose to not play a supporter this turn. Is that correct?
I would have played the research there. I think it's really important to try to dig for the Electrike and an EXP share. You want to preserve energy, but you expect to lose 1 DC at some point, and you have 2 super rods to get back fairies. So I think you go full dig here. It is also not bad to get Ace Trainer in the discard pile.
Yeah, and there was also the VS Seeker could have grabbed the N. I think there was an N in the discard pile as well. So I'm not sure if we missed something there.
I don't think I ever take the N there because my opponent's at a 4-card hand. I don't want to, if they have a bad hand, I don't want them to get out of it. But now I think. See, now you still don't even want to Ace Trainer, but you sort of have to because your opponent didn't play a supporter last turn. Had we researched last turn, we had VS Seeker here, so we could have dug 14 cards deep, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Between those 2 turns, so basically, the top deck was the VS Seeker, right? So we would have seen 7 more cards and then had another 7. So just 4. It would be just 7 cards deeper than we would have otherwise.
See, we saw the struggle, the hesitation over the Sycamore or the Ace Trainer there. I think the Ace Trainer was a fine second choice, but I think I would have actually preferred to see the Sycamore just, as you said, kind of dig that much deeper. You want to get another experience share down, the Electrike, if you're able to. You did find the experience share, but putting it on Shaman and then taking this KO for 120 feels a little bit unfortunate, and we'll see what Jared was able to get off of that Ace Trainer. Maybe it bailed him out.
Yeah, I don't mind the Ace Trainer there. Losing 2 VS Seekers and, is rough. Since they're gonna, your opponent's gonna end you at some point.
Ooh.
Um, Rock Skirt here. Okay.
Wow, that
So
is
we do see
not
the
what
Ace
we
Trainer
wanted
has
to
them
see.
up a little
Yeah.
bit.
And this is going to be
This is
great. This
huge,
Silent Lab is
huge,
going to be huge too. Yeah.
absolutely. This is, let me see. Yeah, this is, what's in the discard? Oh, the boss is in the discard. Yeah, you for sure, you go after that energy. Your opponent has a dead hand. You go after those 2 energy cards. They already at DTE down or DCE down. They're struggling to get an attack with a 1-card hand. This is for sure the right play here.
Yeah, and having that Silent Lab in play turns off the option to get, top deck a Shaman or a Hoopa. And, you're definitely cruising at this point. If you're Zach, you have both experience shares in play too. So even if your opponent draws out of this somehow, you get to keep all your energy in play if this Xerneas were to go down. So even that is definitely going into Zach's favor. And now you have the chance to just get even more attachments down.
What I would do here in this position, I would attach the DCE just to knock out the active Volcanion, because that's 2 types right there, and I would just research. Or Professor Sycamore. There's no chance I'm letting my foot off the pedal.
Yeah, I actually think we would whiff this
get
KO, though, right? We'd be off by 20 on the Volcanion.
Oh,
We're
am I
only
wrong?
hitting 160.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't do math. I'm sorry.
But now we take out the
Jolteon.
Jolteon.
Absolutely. This is now absolutely the correct play. I apologize. Yeah.
And you know what? I kind of don't hate the holding of the Sycamore here. I guess in some ways you want to kind of go through.
I would use the Sycamore there, and the reason being, you still have 3 VS Seekers left in deck, and you can't. If your opponent recovers and draws top decks of Sycamore, you cannot win off those 2 Xerneases. You'll need a 3rd or maybe even a 4th attacker.
Wouldn't have it any other way, of course, for a Xerneas mirror-ish mirror in the finals of Riley's Retro 17. So super excited to see how this one ends up closing out. I think both games have been pretty interesting. Like one of them started with Zach kind of taking that really early aggression and then getting end out of the game. And then in that second game, just Jared getting Ace Trainer out of the game and Zach just being able to keep up with the pressure. And this opening hand from Zach is not looking too great. That Ace Trainer cannot be played unless you're behind on prizes. And I guess the Lugia is at least nice to have something to Geomancy onto. Maybe a Lysander to just, drag something up like a Volcanion if your opponent puts that down. But not the best start Zach could have wanted here in a game 3.
Yeah, I agree. We would have liked to see a second. Honestly, a second Xerneas may fix this hand. A supporter, I guess, as well would be very good. So, we are. Hoopa is the obvious grab here. Scoundrel Ring will find 3 EX Pokemon. That's almost certainly going to be the Volcanion, the Shaman, and potentially a Jolteon, depending on what they want to bench.
Yep, you brought that one into manifested that one for sure. And those are the the primary targets, right? The Volcanion has the dual types, so it provides a lot of versatility and being able to power up that Rainbow Force attack. Of course, the Jolteon has the natural free retreat, so it's a pretty good fit just to stick on your bench. And then you have the Shaman to draw some additional cards. So those tend to be the first 3 that you go for off of that Hoopa, depending on what you have access to.
Yeah. That Ultra Ball off the Shaman. Well, maybe it was already in hand, but it was pretty big. Getting the Xerneas down, hopefully an energy to it. Yep, an energy to it. Wow, it's already ready to go. Wow. Thankfully, there's no attack turn 1, because this is not a fantastic situation.
The experience share, I guess, is not the worst thing, but this is just going to be a sad Geomancy. And you know what, actually? I think
you attach the experience share, yeah.
Yeah, and
I think... You hope your opponent doesn't have Lysander here, so you Lysander up the Volcanion, I think, the highest retreat, or the Hoopa, one of those 2.
I would say the Volcanion because it does have a 3 retreat, whereas Hoopa can retreat with the DCE attachment. So.
Oh, it's Volcanion 2, my bad. Yeah, so Volcanion 3, yeah. So bring up the Volcanion with the highest retreat. EXP show the Lugia. You lose the game if they have a boss to kill to get the Lugia. So
Ooh. No, we
I
have
would
to take
for sure
this
Lysander here.
Yeah, play the Lysander.
Have to Lysander the Volcanion. One Floatstone's already down. Does he see it? Does he see it?
No. Okay, so I think maybe what he's thinking here is that this means you can go DCE Lysander up that Xerneas to take the KO next turn. But, I mean, you have to know that this Xerneas is coming into the active to take the KO. Like, it already has the KO on board. Oh!
Yeah, it would be reasonable if the Floatstone wasn't... All right, well, it was... Well, did he have a retreat, though, is the question. It was already sort of hopeless with the Floatstone being on the Shaman. So I don't know if, with one Floatstone down, I think you definitely have to try to go for that Volcanion.
Yeah, no, I don't really see a reason to not have played the Lysander there. It doesn't really benefit you on this turn since the KO is just already on board. And just choosing to go with the Ace Trainer over... I kind of like not evolving there because you're most likely going to have to Geomancy anyway. And at least we find some additional Pokemon, so Zach will not just lose immediately, but it's just so far behind from this position. This is so tough to come back from. Wow, and Cash in chat saying, fun fact, he didn't have a retreat watching from his streams. Of course, Jared is actually streaming currently on Twitch, and Cash giving us the leak, yeah.
That would have been so huge because, I mean, you get another top of your deck. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Okay, sorry about that, chat. Looks like my Wi-Fi blipped a little bit there. Yeah, didn't get to see a pulverizing pancake. Oh, even more fun fact, Jared top decked the Lysander too. Wow. Oh, and his stream just glitching out again. Oh, wow. Streaming on Wi-Fi? What else would I be streaming on, Prime? Oof. Is it still... I'm like, I can't tell. It keeps like... We keep getting some drop frames here. I'm not sure if you guys can still see. I'm like, I can still see with the game at least, so we're not entirely lost. But yeah, this position is just so bad for Zach. At least able to fire off another Ace Trainer, which is effectively an N at this point, but it's just so far behind. Oh god, the frames keep dropping, but a really long Ethernet cable and run it directly from your modem to your PC. Wow, this is so sad. I'm so sorry, chat. I'm so sorry. Hi, Tay. Oh, thank you for the follow. Did you not already follow me, Tay?
This game is not exactly over. A Mist Road, a Rainbow Force, sorry, that would allow, but some survival here. We'll see. I can't quite see what's going on.
Okay, I think it's stabilized.
Okay. There is a Sycamore in hand, so we need to miss an Elixir DT right here. The Elixir goes off. Can't see what happened.
Looks like it's still waiting. Thanks for the raid as well, Tay. Appreciate that. Hope you had a great stream. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here joining us just for Game 3 of the finals. Just as everything is going off the rails with the my Wi-Fi just cutting out completely. Still trying to see the resolution of this Max Elixir, which is going to be huge for this game. And it's wow, it's just going to be the lightning onto the Jolteon. Also, thank you for the follow,
and
Charismatic Canine.
There is hope. There is hope. This, I don't know if this
I don't know, did we lose Sam? This puts you at 500 now. This puts me at 501, actually. So I did just cross the 500 follower threshold. So thank you all so much for getting me there. I really, really appreciate that. Huge milestone. Feels great. And it's great to have it, hopefully, if it gets to go up on YouTube, because this video has been all kinds of scuffed, but it'll be great. We'll figure it out. I'm not sure if we've lost Sam, too. We might have, Sam might just be intensely focusing.
I am back. There was some issues with the stream, but I am now, at least I hope anyone can hear me, or else I'm just talking into the void.
Nope, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. We are at 501. We weren't even at 500 for that long. Just right to 501. Still here. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely, salvageable. Zach needs a lot to go right and needs it to happen fast. Of course, that weakness, the lightning weakness on this Lugia means that it is going to get two-shot by the Jolteon, and it cannot damage the Jolteon back because of that Flash Ray. So I'm going to have to retreat this DCE off, which hurts to lose 2 energy like that. And we didn't find the break either.
I think what's more important is this Trainer Mail hits an Ultra Ball, because we need another Xerneas down, or an Electrike down immediately. I'm definitely Geomancying this turn with the other Xerneas, I think, because you need to build energy in play for the break to get the knockout. But I think you have to Geomance. I think you have to play the Trainer's Mail here to try to find an Ultra Ball for the Xerneas. I guess were there even any Ultra Balls in deck? There were not. So there were. Yeah, so you lose an energy here because you didn't get the break, or because you attacked with the 2 energy one. A little unfortunate there, but yeah, I think the path is closing slowly, but N is sort of the great equalizer. If it's possible for Rainbow Force to miss energy, the fairy on that Xerneas, Flash Ray is only taking a 2-shot here. And yeah, if he doesn't have a Fighting Fairy Belt for the Jolteon, it's a 3-shot on the break. So I guess, yeah, we definitely need to see this Trainer's Mail hit something good here. Ultra Ball for the break would be the ideal get, in my opinion. Nothing out there, but you still, let's see, where are we now? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energies in play. Yeah, I think you can safely take nothing here, and then another option was to actually take, because you know your opponent's hand is dead, you take the boss and then just Sycamore it. Just say goodbye to your whole hand because you need to hit the break this turn. I don't mind that attach of the DTE, but I think you just have to Sycamore. Wouldn't mind if taking the Lysander out of the deck to thin 1 more card so you don't see it here. And we do draw into that Lysander.
And this was a great Sycamore, though. You're able to find the Electrike, you got the Break evolution as well, and you can take those 2 prizes and actually try out the game.
Bench that Xerneas. Okay.
Yeah, would have liked to see the Xerneas come down there, and yes, Scavenger, Rayquaza, yes, the break goes through Flash Ray because it is not a basic Pokemon anymore. And Stellar, I wanted to come back to this comment as well, so I really appreciate you saying that you're proud of me, and yes, you have been watching me from probably my first ever stream, which is kind of crazy to think about, that, someone from an OG from the beginning, so thank you so much for saying that. Really appreciate that, and for still being here, for still choosing to be here. So thank you so much, Stellar. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Riley, I'm also very proud of you. You've come a long way. I've known you for 10 years almost now, if not more.
My God, has it really been that long? We're old.
Yeah. Okay. 2 prizes. That Lugia cannot attack. I guess you just have to N and pray. But there is no N in hand.
Oof.
But this is an N and pray type of turn.
Could you
No,
ever
no
Super Rod a
end.
Ninja Boy? Could we ever Super Rod a Ninja Boy and take a KO? Actually, you don't even take a KO at that rate, though. You don't have the break evolution to get the KO, because of course the Rainbow Spear, I think, is the attack on the basic Xerneas would not be enough to take a KO since the Fury Bolt is there. So this is a tough spot to be in. The N would have been a great find. Couple that with a knockout from this Lugia, but now we're just like, what do we even do from this position?
You just have to hope that your opponent's 25 card hand does not have a way, well, here's the thing, right? Your opponent can always miss Elixir. Unless your deck is 6 energy cards, you can always miss an Elixir. I guess if you have 11 cards and 6 are energy, you can't miss, but you know what I mean. Like, your opponent can always miss. You just have to Deep Hurricane, take this knockout, and pray. I do think you do need a next turn. You do need the end, so you have to play this research now. You have to dig for an end next turn.
Yeah, I would have definitely liked to seen the end. I guess the logic, though, is that Zach has the Lysander, so if the attack is missed, Zach would just have game in hand with this Lysander to finish off the Shaman with Deep Hurricane. Ooh, but there's
that is fair.
Skyfield.
That is fair. No, you're correct. You're correct. I'm wrong. Sorry. I missed him. Yeah, for sure. With game in hand, you don't do that this turn. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you don't Sycamore away game.
Sorry about
but
that.
there's the Max Elixir, it hits.
Left.
Do we have the DCE? And actually, even just a Fairy Energy will do it at this point, because you can copy the Arrow Ball. So just one energy away for Jared. Does he have the game? The Sycamore, you have to think he's going to find it here with only OME can Shaman for 2 first. Does he have the energy for game? Floatstone. Sycamore, seeing almost all of our deck. We see 70% of the remaining cards. Do we find the energy? Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat. Does he have the energy to close off the game? Otherwise, Zach's gonna win it. Oh, and there's the Fairy! And you can go ahead and copy the Arrow Ball with this Mewix and take it down. Jared wins it with Rainbow Force Xerneas in this crazy Xerneas finals mirror match of Riley's Retro 17. Give us Big Sam back. All right, we'll get Big Sam back. All right, there you go, chat. Big Sam, this is great. I love that it's just your hair.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want, Big Sam.